just thought I'd take a short break just to let you know about becoming a Breakout Bestie. So we've launched a brand new subscription service for the small businesses that need us in your pocket. So why do you need to become a Breakout Bestie? Well, it's just a monthly subscription that gives you access to us when you need us. There's a closed group where you can ask us any question you need. There's also an anonymous posting on, so if you've got clients in the same group, you can ask us anything and we'll get back to you. Sometimes that'll be a quick answer, other times it might be that we need a bit more of an in-depth chat. There'll also be posts and information on the latest trends, the latest strategies for social media, upcoming things from HMRC that you may have missed, just anything you need to make your life easier to run your business. You'll also have access to our client base and money off discounts and vouchers for various services we've got coming out. This is brand new, it's only just been launched, so have a look, go on our website under Besties and sign up soon. We did take a bit longer than expected on that, but purely because I think, for want of a better phrase, it was down to communication. It was just understanding what both parties wanted and where we stood and making sure things are in black and white. It's very different of what we're doing, or very different for the area of what we're doing as well. It's not just an office or a cafe or an antique centre, which we have a lot of them in the village. So it's quite different. So it is like getting them understanding. I mean, ultimately, landlords care as long as the rent's paid, they're absolutely happy. Hi and welcome to Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. This podcast is specifically for business owners or wannabe business owners. Say you've got a side hustle, or you've got a passion for something and you think it'd be absolutely amazing, or you see people that do amazing things with their passions and what they enjoy doing. Well, you can do that. So please subscribe, and we hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Hi and welcome to Breakout Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. Now, talking of trying, for everyone who listened to our episode back in May, we were talking about creative spaces, which Liam and I are opening a content studio across the road. So this is the second instalment of that journey, and to tell you where we're up to, what we're doing, and the next steps. So I got that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like giving you a bit of a little insight, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of where we're going with it, what ideas we're having, the progress that we're making, because I know we've had lots of people asking about where we're at. That's another one now. So yeah, just giving you a bit of an update of where we are, because we know that quite a few people have asked us where we're at and when we're going to be offering the different spaces out for hire and what we're going to have and everything like that. So yeah, just a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, as it were, to where we are with Creative Spaces.
Nice. I like what you did there.
Yeah,
there'll be curtains up. We've bought curtains.
Yeah, we have curtains. They're not hung.
Yeah, but we have curtains.
But we have curtains. I think, like, kind of for people who haven't listened to that first episode or that first little update installment that we've put on, that was all about kind of getting the space, locating where it was we're going to have it, and just thinking about what we could do with it. And I think what we've done is we've moved on to that next phase, haven't we? Where we've actually started purchasing things, started filling the spaces up with where we're going. Yeah,
definitely. And I think it's then we left it off about signing the contract. We've now signed the contract. A bit of learning for us on there now, for just a small recap, and for what if people don't know, where I rent Breakout, I rent directly off of the landlord, whereas our new space is through a estate agent. Right. Now, for anyone who's had any experience in renting before, that's very, very different of how you're dealing with. So It did take a bit longer. We ended up just talking to the landlord directly. And it varies from landlord to landlord, I think, because you get some that they've got a space and they just want it rented out. They don't want anything to do with it. They leave it in the hands of the estate agent. In both cases I've got quite hands-on landlords and who care about the building, have a bit more of interest of what you're doing. Also, I think because in both spaces, it's very different of what we're doing, or very different for the area of what we're doing as well. It's not just an office or a cafe or an antique centre, which we have a lot of them in the village. So it's quite different. So it is like getting them an understanding. I mean, ultimately, landlords care as long as the rent's paid, they're absolutely happy. But it's just tying all of that in and just making sure. So we did take a bit longer than expected on that, but purely because I think, for want of a better phrase, it was down to communication. It was just understanding what both parties wanted and where we stood and making sure things were in black and white. I will always hold my hands up. I'm useless at contracts and things in black and white. And when I say useless at contracts, I'm brilliant at writing them. I've done contract law. I can tell you terms and conditions, a privacy policy. I can do anything you want on that. But I'm a massive grey area, so I'm not very good when it comes to talking to lawyers and estate agents because they want things literally written in blood.
Yeah,
and
black and white.
Yeah.
And also...
This is what happens if...
Some of the terminology used as well, I think, like, we had a little bit of like, what does this...
Yeah, what's
this phrase actually mean? And we had to kind of like translate it a bit. And then when we did, hold our hands up and say... What do we mean by this? Yeah. Oh, it just means that. Okay, cool. That's fair enough.
And the most important thing I think for that is to know what you're liable for. So we've had a couple of terms changed because we were like, well, we're not being liable for that. No, that's not our issue. So if you come to the actual building, for example, that's out of our control. So we can't be liable for that. But other things, absolutely fine. We're using day in, day out. There'll be your wear and tear. Can we put this in? Can we take that out? So, and it's just knowing as well what the landlord's comfortable with. And that was important to us, to just know what they're happy with, what they want us to do. I think they had a standard term in there that we had to sign off every single poster that went up in the window.
Yeah, signage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anything that was visible from inside as well. Wasn't just a poster. It was like, and we were like, so what? We got to have our hands tied just for...
And he doesn't care. He's like, as long as everything you do is legal, he's not bothered. So, so there's just little things. So I think it's just important to know that when it can be quite intimidating, especially if you're taking on a building for the first time, to think, right, I've got this contract. This is it. I can't change it. And you can change it. If you want to get your own solicitor, lawyer involved to look it over, 100%. Do that. We didn't on this occasion, but that's absolutely fine.
But I think what you said there, it was literally just having that conversation with the landlord, wasn't it? And the letting agent, just to kind of say, like, look, this is where we're at. Yeah. This is where you're at, and is there a way of coming together so everyone's happy? And in the end, it works out. So
exactly
that's
that.
Great.
And ultimately, it's then the contract signed. We're in. There's still, it's very chicken and egg of to get a contract signed, to open a bank account, but you can't open a bank account until the contract's fine, but you can't pay the money. Oh my word, that's mental.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it is, suddenly we had like 4 energy companies and 2 water companies to say we're in contract.
That's a really good point, because I had a phone call. Yeah. Well, I had many phone calls.
Email.
You had some emails about people saying that, right, we're now taking on your energy supplier. And it's like, hold on a minute. Like, we had to communicate between ourselves, say, is this...
We've not instructed anybody.
No.
We're not instructed. We've not signed anything. And for depending where you are listening to this, we're in East Anglia, so we're on Anglian Water. There's a water company that's still emailing going, we're your supplier. It's like, I don't even know who you are.
We're going to go direct.
Mental.
But
so I think that's really important to know, that it's how many people try it on businesses.
And even my Record and Repurpose business, I got something through the post the other day about my bank account. Like, congratulations, you've had an account, or you had your business live for a year and stuff, and they'll just try it on, wouldn't they? So it's just a bit being a bit switched on about it.
If you're a limited company, because we do we're the address, so we're a virtual address for some companies. So, and the agreement is we just open the post, they're not going to get it. And 9 times out of 10, it's junk mail. Yeah. And when I say junk mail, I've had things, it looks like it's the HMRC or government telling you, or Companies House telling you you've got to sign up to stuff. It's not, and it's very, very fine print. This is nothing to do with the government. This is not law. But you read it and go, oh, God, I've got to pay this company. It's only 160 quid. But if you think they do that to every single company.
And if you're not switched on, that's a lot of 160 quids that could, could melt up.
So, so it's just more scams to avoid. So, but the contract's signed. We've moved furniture in.
Yep.
Now got the meeting room pretty much set up. So we had some bespoke tables made and got some chairs. So the meeting room's more or less ready to go. We've got the Wi-Fi going in next week.
Yeah, next week it'll be in. So by the
time you listen to this, it'll be in.
Yep.
And then we've started setting up the photography studios downstairs.
Absolutely. So I think the order that we've done it is like we've gone for like the lower hanging fruit of what we need to do. So the meeting room is pretty straightforward as long as you've got the tables, the chairs, power sources, projectors or TV screens for people to share things like presentations. We felt that was probably the first place that we should draw our attention to because it was the easiest thing to set up. And you know, if you're setting a business up and you're moving into a premises and like ours, you've got several things that you could do there. That's something that I think, you know, was sensible on our part, that we kind of thought, right, we could get some income starting to stream through from this.
Yeah, definitely.
Photography studio, it's exciting. Like, and we were really blessed that somebody was selling a lot of photography equipment. So
I think that's just an important note to make. When setting something up, it's how much information you share with people. Now, I'm an oversharer anyway, rightly or wrongly, love me or hate me, but I've always shared what I'm doing and what the business is doing in the village. Now, because I did that with this, someone said to me, my mum has inherited a load of photography equipment. Do you think you'd be interested? I was like, don't know, let's get a list. Now, hands up, Liam and I is probably the least we know about is the photography side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
so Liam's a podcast expert. I'm a meeting room but meeting trader from expert.
You're not going to be banished to that room,
no, exactly. I'm just going to be on the whiteboard. And but photography we're not great at, but we got a list of stuff, looked at it and got what they wanted from it, and actually it worked out really, really well. So we're very fortunate to obtain quite a lot of equipment. We'd already got the backdrops, hadn't we? We've got some backdrops, so we'd set all of that up, and as I say, we've got some curtains, they're not hung yet. We need to get blackout blinds, but this was so Liam obviously had lighting and stuff, but this is other lighting.
Even when you say that, like, it was a bit of naivety from my point of view, because focusing more on the podcast and the video side of things, it would be more what they call continuous lighting, so the lights are just always on. Whereas we're blessed to also have started to work with another fantastic photographer. So Holly, if you're listening, absolute pleasure to work with you and to glean all that information from you. But she was explaining to us how, like, actually where we've inherited these additional lights, we got the continuous lights for just constantly being on. But photographers quite often want to use a flash, so like as you take the photo, the light triggers and then everything's lit up for that moment in time rather than being a big bright light constantly. And when we received the list, because we received a long list of we've got this, that and the other, and looking at it, like, I know a little bit, but I was just I recognise these names, I know that's going to be quite good, so let's go for it. And it was a little bit of a risk, I suppose, but actually it's turned out amazingly, because we've got some different sets of lights. Everything's been in fantastic condition as well, so that's another thing to say, that you know, we were lucky in that respect.
And Holly's come in and said, like, she's then given us the idea that we didn't even think of photographers can now come and have the lights there. Have you tried?
Fantastic. Have the best the Bones kit or whatever we've got lighting wise for you to use. So we've got that professional level set up, but we've also now got the pro to kind of intermediate setup as well, so like a little bit less complicated, and then a really basic beginner setup as well. So whether hopefully we'll be able to cater for like people who are top of their game and coming in with their clients, so they're just ready, good to go. We'll have it all set up and without that kind of setup stress as
and
well.
Also having someone on hand to help as well for
people, because I didn't realize, but Holly was explaining how like some of the sets that you can get, some of the kit that you can get, you have to like turn the camera on in a certain order.
What
like,
is she saying? Camera
lights
and the trigger,
and then the trigger, and it
sometimes it's the other way round.
So it depends. So again, that's another benefit of having, you know, somebody going to be there to kind of just
explain
remove that,
make it
because
work.
we sat there for a day trying to get it to work, and then suddenly it was like light bulb moment. Oh, okay, excuse the pun.
Bing.
Yeah.
But also it's that thing of, you then know, it's that reassurance of, because ultimately if you're hiring a space for, I don't know, 4 hours, 8 hours, you want to make the most of that 4 hours and 8 hours. You don't want to be stood around going, 2 hours, how does this work? Finally you set it up and you're like, literally got an hour before we have to take it all down again. So that's quite reassuring now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting there with the photography side of things. Meeting room is good to go,
and also the breakout areas outside, so it's not just a meeting room. We've got tables and chairs outside, so if it's for a meeting or a workshop or training days, so you know when you have to break off and chat to people, it's that space included as well. So
instead of it just being like an overwhelming several conversations in that one room, you can have those little meetings, or even at lunchtime or break times and stuff, you can go and sit in a different space to kind of take yourself away from the focus of what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think as well, then we've got, it's the whole building's used, but it's the photography stuff downstairs. The meeting room is now a lockable room, so when you book it, you get a key and access to, so you can keep your stuff in there if you all go out for lunch or do whatever, or maybe you're in there for 2-3 days. You leave your stuff in there, and it's quite safe, and it's kind of yours for the whole time. An area for, most importantly, tea and coffee. You
need to make sure you're awake and ready to go. And
then we've just got the podcast room, which is like the final piece, which we were going to use today to set up and record, but we've not been able to. But it will be ready to go. So it's just the soundproofing in there, isn't it, that we need?
Yeah, because it's a vaulted ceiling. Like when you step in there, like it's funny because we're podcasting, you kind of are in a space and you're like, well, it sounds all right when I'm in here talking. But then when you actually put the headphones on, it's really noticeable. But even when you don't have the headphones in there, when we've gone in there and we shut the door,
it's
because it's that vaulted ceiling, it just like bounces around and you can notice it even without it.
Echoing.
We do need to do a little bit of work on that, but it's something that we'll get to, and we'll have it all singing and dancing.
Yeah, definitely. So so that's the next steps. So by the time you listen to this, you'll be able to hire it for photography and the meeting room for definite. And as I said, the meeting room, so for meeting, training, workshops, again, it's a dry hire, comfortably seats 12, but could seat a few more depending what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've set it up so we're going to advertise it as that 12 as the comfortable. But then if you have got a couple of last minute attendees, or you did really want to cram absolutely everyone you could in the space, then you could squeeze a few more in. But it's exciting because
it's versatile.
Versatile. And that's what a business should be, right? Because if you just had the one thing,
exactly,
and then that didn't go well, then it could be the end.
So we're basically looking for people, companies that don't have their own meeting room or need meetings off site. And then photographers, whether you're a professional photographer or you've got a business and you just need a clean backdrop and just need some pictures of you or your products. But also we've got those links with product photographers, branding photographers and headshot photographers as well. So it's that one size fits all for being the versatile space of whatever you need it for. That's I suppose that's the next step, isn't it? So to do the marketing, promotion, getting it out there, which we've started to do. So we've set up our Instagram account. We had a branding session with Lou from Toodle Pip. So she helped us out with some different logos and graphics. So you'll have seen, if you look at Suffolk Creative Spaces, you'll see that going out now, and slowly scheduling so they're going out. But yeah, and then getting in touch with people, isn't it? Yeah,
and I suppose like the encouraging thing is we have had some interest already, haven't we? And we haven't really put too much out there.
Because
we didn't want to be like, we've got it all, and then people want to book, but it's
you can't,
not quite ready. So yeah, once we've got that marketing piece up, we start hosting the podcast over there, and start sharing a bit more. That will start to
all come together.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
It's exciting stuff.
So have a listen to, if you do go back to the May episode where we talked about it. This will be a continuing chat and the warts of all of. It's nice because we get the setting up of a new company, setting up of a new space, what to do, pros and cons. So keep listening. And if you've got any, give us a follow on Suffolk Creative Spaces. And if you've got any questions in the meantime or things you want to know, and it is truly a warts and all. So if there's anything you want to know of how to do or what we've done or how we've done it, rightly or wrongly, whether we've learnt it or done other bits and pieces, we can go through on the next episode.
So follow, share. If you need that business support, come and see Farley and the team at Breakout.
If you want to start a podcast, come and see Liam.
come and see me and join me over in the space once we've got that ready. And looking forward to catching up soon.
Fab. Thanks for listening. And as always, like and share and subscribe for us. It means a lot to a small business and a little podcast like ours. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode. We really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please share with a friend who you think needs a bit of help with starting a business or even their small business, which they've already got going. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, which always helps a small business or small podcast like us. And check the show notes. We all have everything in there relating to the episode, which you might need, might want to read, and links to anyone we've interviewed and certain subjects we've spoken about. And thanks for listening.